It's been an honor to receive Ramnath Goenka Journalism Award in the category of sports. And certainly this will inspire me to do more and more such stories to, get the system in line as my story, which I did back in 2019, got recognition, and later on it was the sports ministry who took the cognizance of my story, and later on Volleyball Federation of India got recognized. But this particular award will certainly inspire me to do such more stories and to bring out truth out in the public. There are a few things which I remember doing this story. It was almost 4 to 5 months of my homework, of my research that I did to find out this expose that I brought out. Number one, that this particular contract, which was done within the Volleyball Federation of India, has few things. Number one, it was completely an anti-player contracts that were done by the Volleyball Federation of India. There were infighting within the Volleyball Federation of India that was going on, and there were huge financial irregularities which was going on. Ultimately, that were impacting the players. And also, the volleyball game as a whole. As we all know, that volleyball is the third most popular game in the country, and when such things are happening, it ultimately the volleyball players were ultimately suffering from it. One of the important point that I remember in the whole expose that I have done is the contract which was done by the Volleyball Federation of India to one of the company, and this contract had certain clauses which were completely anti-player, and these three clauses were that if any player is playing the volleyball pro league, then at the same time they can't play for Indian team. First, they have to represent themselves in the league, and on the basis of that, they would be able to participate in Team India. The selection process will be also based on their performance in the volleyball professional league, and if the performance is not good in the leagues, they won't be able to they won't be selected for Team India, and their performance from the domestic tournaments, from their state championships will be neglected completely. Thirdly, there was also one process of selection trials that was included in the entire contract. So it was directly impacting the players as a whole who had been trying to play for Team India, but the money when it come into the power, the infighting which was going on between the Secretary General, President, so it was impacting, and this led me to do this particular story, so that ultimately the game itself gets enhanced, and players won't be distracted and suffered because of this huge irregularities. There were huge challenges, just because the top office bearers of Volleyball Federation of India had so much of connect with the system, and when I was doing my story, 4 to 5 months, when I researched, when I got the the contract papers of the Volleyball Federation of India, I remember that there were huge pressure that was built to not to publish this story, but ultimately one of the thing that I had thought of, that I had to bring out both the sides of the story, just not one version of the story. There were players who went to CBI, who lodged their complaint at the CCI, the Competition Controller of India. There were people who had lodged their cases in the Supreme Court, in the High Courts, against what is happening about the financial irregularities. And these people and the players, when I had a word with them, they said that they have been trying to get this irregularities out for so many years, but they were not able to. And when I researched about these papers and contracts, I found out that literally it has something which needs to come out so that sports ministry get to know about these irregularities, and they took the cognizance of this matter. So yes, it was so hard to pull out those contracts, those documents from the Volleyball Federation of India. In fact, I reached out to the sports ministry. I reached out to the CCI, the players, and after 3 to 4 months of the research, of the homework that I did, ultimately all the documents were with me, and later on, with the support of my managing editor and my channel, I was able to publish this story out. There have been a lot of flaws in the Indian sporting system still. The National Sports Code has not been implemented in different sporting federations in the country. After my story, the impact was that the sports ministry had de-recognized 8 of the federations which are not following the National Sports Code. The AGMs were not being conducted. There were no official elections that were being conducted. The financial process, which has been recommended by the Lodha committee to put out all in the website so that it can come out in the public domain, that was not being done. And ultimately, sports ministry de-recognized 8 of the federations till date. Volleyball Federation of India is defunct. It has been de-recognized. Yesterday only there was an AGM which was conducted by the Indian Olympic Association, which now a 6 members committee have been appointed to look after such federations, so that the players who wanted to compete in the international tournaments would not go with their flag names or with their federation name, but will be going under the Indian Olympic Association name. So the process is still continuing, the fight is still on, but the major thing, the major impact that has took place is that now all the federations, apart from these 8 de-recognized federations, are following the National Sports Code, and they are following, and they are working in a very transparent manner. The AGMs are being conducted on time because they have seen that what can happen if the National Sports Code or the the Lodha recommendations could not be implemented in these federations. So this was the ultimate impact, but still the federation is de-recognized by the sports ministry. In the upcoming time, as the Supreme Court is going to give a judgment on upcoming 13th of January, more things will come into light, and that could put a huge impact on the Indian sporting system.